You're here because there's something in the back of your mind, a task, and it's eating away at you. Every time you think of it, your brain suddenly finds, 1,000 other things to do. But that's okay, because together, we're going to reprogram that impulse. We are going to dismantle procrastination, not with some simple trick, but by fundamentally changing how you approach the difficult things in your life.
So, where do we even begin? Well, we start by confronting the story you've been telling yourself. We begin with the lie you believe.
Do you ever tell yourself you're lazy, or weak, or just undisciplined? If that sounds familiar, I need you to know you are definitely not alone. But that belief, that story you keep repeating in your own head, it's a lie.
All right, so here's the truth of it. Procrastination has absolutely nothing to do with your willpower or with being lazy. It is, at its core, a very specific and very well disguised type of fear. It's a defense mechanism, and it's sabotaging you, probably without you even realizing what's happening.
See, deep inside your brain, there's this tiny, almond-shaped part called the amygdala, and for millions of years, it's had one job and one job only: to scan your environment for any possible threats and to keep you safe. Think of it as your ancient primal protector.
But here's the problem. That amygdala, well, it's primitive. It literally can't tell the difference between a real life or death threat, like a lion, and a modern perceived threat, like that huge project sitting on your desk. To your ancient brain, they both trigger the exact same alarm. It's just, danger, run, now, or you might die.
Now, this primal fear, it doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It kicks off this internal struggle for control. This is what we call your brain's hidden war.
So, to really get a handle on this war, you have to understand dopamine, and probably not in the way you've heard it described before. See, dopamine isn't really the pleasure chemical. That's a huge misconception. It's much more accurate to call it the motivation molecule. It's the fuel, the fuel that powers your engine when you're driving towards a goal.
So you've actually got two different dopamine systems in your brain. On one hand, you've got what's called phasic dopamine. Think of these as the quick, explosive hits you get from, say, scrolling through social media or seeing a new notification. And then you have tonic dopamine. This is completely different. It's that slow, steady burn, the kind that keeps you locked in and focused on one task for hours.
And right here, this is where the real problem starts. Our modern world is basically a phasic dopamine machine. So your amygdala screams danger at that hard task, and what does your brain do? It looks for the nearest, easiest escape, which is always a quick phasic hit. Every time you grab your phone instead of working, you are literally training your brain to crave that instant gratification. Your steady, focused, tonic dopamine system, it just doesn't stand a chance.
But here is the good news. You can take back control. You can actually reshape these patterns in your brain. So it is time to move from just understanding all this to taking action. It is time for forging your inner warrior.
So, you ready to play a little game? We're going to call it the dopamine game. It's a simple, 4-step strategy to help you manage your brain's reward system and finally conquer procrastination.
Okay, step 1. It's incredibly simple, but don't underestimate how powerful this is. One task at a time. I want you to think of your focus like a spotlight. You can shine it on one single thing and see it with perfect clarity, or you can try to shine it on everything at once and, well, you end up seeing nothing at all. True focus is singular.
All right, step 2. You need to set artificial deadlines. I used to give myself an entire day to write a script, and guess what? It took the entire day. Now, I give myself just a 2-hour window, and it is absolutely amazing how much I can get done. This is not about creating stress. This is about creating controlled pressure for efficiency.
Step 3. This one's all about the reward. But there's a trick to it. You have to choose your reward before you even start. So what's something you really, truly want? A new video game? A night out with friends? Whatever it is, that is the thing you get, but only after you've completed the task, not before.
And finally, step 4, and this might be the most important one: remove all distractions. Think of every distraction as a siren's call, just trying to lure you away from what you need to do. So, put your phone in another room. For real. Close all those extra tabs. Turn off every notification. Your goal is to make the productive path the path of least resistance. Okay, but a word of warning. There's a hidden enemy here, one that can sabotage this entire system. And it's sneaky because it disguises itself as something good, like having high standards. That enemy is perfectionism. The antidote to this is something called the 2-minute rule. Man, I used to stare at a blank page for hours, just paralyzed by the fear of writing something that wasn't perfect. Now, I just tell myself, just write for 2 minutes. It doesn't even have to be good. It can be terrible. It just has to be done. And you know what happens? Once you start, it is so much easier to keep going.
So these are the tools. But, tools are totally useless if you don't actually use them. Real, lasting change, that comes from weaving these into a daily practice. This is what it means to be walking the disciplined path.
First thing you have to accept, and this is crucial, you are not stronger than your environment. If your space is engineered for distraction, you've already lost the battle before it's even begun. So change it. Deliberately create a space that is designed for one thing: focus. Second, you have to embrace the rule of clarity. A lot of the time, procrastination is really just confusion in disguise. Think about a task like clean the garage. It just feels massive, right? Overwhelming. So you break it down into ridiculously small tasks. Take out the trash, organize just the tools, sweep the floor. See, your mind hates having unfinished things hanging around. So use it to your advantage.
And all of it, leads to the final and most profound shift. This isn't just about changing what you do. It's about changing who you are. This is the point where action becomes your identity.
You know, the legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi, he didn't sit around waiting for motivation to strike him. He acted because action was his identity. He was a swordsman, so he practiced the sword. That's just who he was.
And every single time you choose action over inaction, you're doing more than just completing a task. You are casting a vote for a new identity, for the person you want to become. You are strengthening that warrior within you. And slowly, step by step, procrastination will just become a distant memory.
Be present. Walk with honor. Follow the path.